Hi, welcome to RooTube. Today we're going to show you how to use your heat gun that you have only embossed with in the past on how to make these gorgeous flowers that can be placed on anything and everything from jewelry to handbags to accessories to scrapbook pages to cards to packaging and home decor. Anything and everything. So how we're going to start is we're going to be using our Big Shot and our number 2 scallops die. This has actually 2 scallop circles on here, and when you're doing it, you're actually going to be running 6 layers through so that you end up with 12 total pieces. We're going to be using chiffon, and it comes in lots of different colors and lots of textures, but it's so soft and fluffy, and it's just perfect for this project. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by measuring the chiffon on your die, and you're just going to snip it with your paper snip and then rip it. How perfect is that as far as preparation goes? Then you're going to fold it in half. One secret to this is taking a scrap piece of paper and putting it on your die. This keeps your chiffon from actually going down inside the die and getting caught in there. And now you're just going to layer back and forth the chiffon across the die. So you get 6 layers there. Place another piece of scrap paper on top. Make your sandwich with your cutting plates and run it through the Big Shot. This makes it really nice too because they just fall right off the die like butter. So now what you're going to do is, using our great Stampin' Up! Brads, our antique brads, you're going to layer your chiffon on here, usually 2 pieces at a time because the legs of the brads are so soft, and you're just simply going to stick them down inside there. It doesn't have to be centered, and it doesn't have to be, you know, in all the pieces the same. This is very vintage and very shabby chic looking. And you always start with your with your smallest layers first. And you can actually use many of the dies that we have available. Circle die works, the oval die works, the flower folds die, the island die. There's lots and lots of different dies that you can use with this. And then you're simply going to fold down the legs of the brad to secure. And this is important because when you're heating, you need to make sure that you have protection from whatever you're heating from, because these do get really hot. So I just have chosen to use a casserole dish. And then it's very important too that you use your paper snips when you're heating this up to secure and hold your flower. If you just use the paper piercer, it does get hot. The rubber end on these scissors allow you to remain safe. So you're simply going to heat up. And this is just like the embossing. It takes a little while to get started, but once it gets going, it does start to go rather quickly. And it doesn't matter if it folds in on itself. It all adds to the layering effect. As you can see, it's just melting the fabric. You don't want to go too fast on this part because you will burn the fabric. I've never had one catch on fire yet, but I would hate to have that happen at your hostess's house. The last thing I like to do is go ahead and pick it up and separate the layers. Whoops, you need to be careful on this part because the brad itself is hot. The fabric is not, but the brad is. So just go ahead and separate the layers and then pick them up on the back just by pinching. And then just going in between, around and around, This gives it that real fluffy look. Just kind of make sure it's uniform. The more you heat these, the smaller they get, and the more vintagey they get. Once again, this is a project that you can use for the shabby chic fashions that's going around right now that we have actually seen in bridal stores that can cost up to $150, and you've just made it for pennies using your great Stampin' Up! Heat tool. We hope that you enjoyed this presentation, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call or email Dwayna or Mercedes, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again on a future presentation.